Hey CJ Math students, welcome to classwork homework number 105. Please make sure you get the right heading and let's jump right into number one. Right off the bat we have a trapezoid. Notice I give you the area, so first thing I always want to do is figure out what is the area formula for a trapezoid. You should know this from yesterday. So you should have answered area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. And now we just plug in what we know. We know our area and we happen to know our two bases, right? So we're going to be solving for our height. So our area is 45 is equal to 1/2 12 plus 3. It doesn't matter what order you put those two numbers in, times your height, which you can just say is x right now. That's what you're solving for. And so 45 is equal to 1/2 of 15 times x. And half of 15 is going to give you a decimal. No big deal. Again, 1/2 of 15, that's how you're going to figure out it gets you 7.5. So 7.5x, and then you just finish off by dividing both sides by 7.5. Remember, I gave you the area, so your units will just be regular here. So x is equal to 45 divided by 7.5, which is a height of 6 meters regular. So please make sure that your paper is nice and neat and organized, just like this one. All right, let's put 2 right next to number 1, not below it, but right next to it. And let's do 2 together. So number 2, again, you see that I give you the area, so why don't you go ahead and plug that right in. That's 6 is equal to 1/2, and I gave you a base, but I gave you a question mark for the other base. So 3 plus x, and then times your height of 3. The dotted line always represents the height. All right, so now it does not make sense for you to distribute 1/2 to 3 and 1/2 to x. That might kind of give us a crazy problem here. So let's flip-flop 3 in this 3 plus x. So 6 is equal to 1/2 of 3 times 3 plus x. What is the property called when we can flip-flop the order of multiplication? The commutative property, right? You can change the order. That's the commutative property of multiplication. So again, taking half of 3 gives you 1.5. So 6 is equal to 1.5 times 3 plus x. And so this is where a couple of you kind of messed up the other day, because this problem's a little bit different than number 1 in that you did not have to distribute here, but here you have to distribute. You have to do 1.5 times 3 and 1.5 times x. So 6 is equal to 4.5 plus 1.5x. Notice I did 1.5 times 3, that's how I got 4.5, and 1.5 times x, that's how I got 1.5x. This is our two-step equation here. So you end up adding negative 4.5 or just subtracting 4.5 since there's no negatives really in geometry. And you'll get 1.5 is equal to 1.5x. Don't freak out. You will just go ahead and simply divide both sides by 1.5. In doing so, you get your answer of x is equal to 1 kilometer. And again, with all of these problems, you can always plug your answer back in. So like if I plug 1 back in up here, and I said my area is equal to 1/2 of my base and my base added together, so 1 plus 3 times my height of 3. So area is equal to 1/2 of 1 plus 3 is 4 times 3. Area is equal to 1/2 of 4. Half of 4 is 2 times 3. Area is equal to 6. Oh, look at that. What did my area actually equal right here? It equaled 6. You could do this for any one of the problems to actually know that you're correct. So don't be lazy. Actually try and do those. All right. So problem number 3 is like problem number 2, where I don't give you a base, so you will have to do some distribution. I don't want to see anybody set up this problem like this. This is wrong. Why? Because 6 is a height. 6 goes on the outside in the height formula. That's why it's often important to actually write out the formula so you can actually see where stuff should go. So 4 is a base, that's why it goes there. My other base, I don't know, so that's why it's x. My height, oh, that's 6, so that's why that 6 goes there, right? So in this one, you'll have to flip-flop the order and distribute, right? And then number 4 is exactly like number 1, where you don't have a height, so you won't have to do any distribution. All right, let's go down to the last part of today's work. So on the second part of today's work, I want us to work backward given the perimeter. Remember, the perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. So the formula for perimeter of a rectangle is pretty simple. A rectangle always has 2 lengths that are the same and 2 widths that are the same. Now, if I give you the perimeter, you know what P is. And if I give you one of the sides, you can call that L, you can call that width. It really doesn't matter, right? So 20 is equal to 2 times 4 plus 2 times, I don't know, the question mark. We'll call that X. When I do a little multiplication here, I have myself a 2-step equation, right? So I draw my scales of justice, I add -8 or just subtract 8 from both sides. I'll get 12 is equal to 2x, and then I will divide both sides by 2. So you get your answer of x is equal to 6. That means this side right here is equal to 6. You can prove this again, right? If this side is 4, that means this side is 4. If this side is 6, that means this side is 6. Let's add these up. 4 plus 6, that's 10. 4 plus 6, that's 10. 10 and 10, that's 20. I know I'm correct. There's no way you walk out of these problems without knowing you're correct if you plug back your answers. So 6, 7, and 8, those are all on your own. I'm giving you the perimeter in all of them. They're set up exactly like number 5 with just different numbers, so practice that. And lastly, you've got this problem number 9. It says, Mr. Mason wants to get new carpet in his room. Carpet always has to deal with area because I'm filling in space, okay? The room is rectangular and measures 14 by 12 feet. So there are your dimensions, and if it's a rectangle, you should know that you're dealing with the rectangle formula. Each square foot costs $2.90. What is the cost of the room? So not only do I need you to find me the area of this room that is 14 by 12, I want you to then find me the cost of actually covering that in carpet. So the shape involved is a rectangle. We are definitely working with area. And since it's a rectangle, we want to use area is equal to base times height. I'm giving you 4 answer choices here. It's not just 12 times 14. You're going to have to do an extra step after that. You may show your work like this, set up for number 9. As always, take a picture of 1 through 9. Every single problem should be done nice and neat, organized, answers circled, and then send it to me when you are done via email. Have a good one.